with all the different kinds of tools they would have used. And again, you'll see the actual ink blocks that get rubbed into the ceramic. Donald had a specific stash of ancient Chinese ink that he's been using. So if you look at this particular ink block, it's still got the Chinese letters imprinted into it. Here are some untrimmed goose quills, and it's my understanding that the quills all have to come from the left flight feather of the geese. So you got a bunch of naked cows running around England, and you got a bunch of lopsided geese running around. All the scribes had to be, it's my understanding, also right-handed, because if you're left-handed, you're coming back across the wet ink. And so you have to write that in that way.
Yeah, I had to give it up because of that.
Yeah. And so here you've got the trimming tools and some of the different tools. Down there you can see actual 24-karat gold leafing with some of the burnishing tools that they would use to go over the top of the gold leaf, and some different brushes. They've also employed the use of rubber stamps as well. So. This is an example of kind of the progression of one of the pieces of art. We'll see the final piece down here a little bit, but this is the piece of the Nativity in the Gospel of Luke. And then right over here is the Beatitudes.
I like the donkey.
This was probably one of the most powerful pieces for me, because I've been giving these presentations for 2 years throughout the state and throughout the Diocese of Phoenix. And when this shows up on PowerPoint, the letters show up yellow. And when I walked in, I was overwhelmed by the way that you almost have to step back to read this. The light can't be directly on the words because it's almost too much light for your eyes. So these are all the Beatitudes in gold leaf, and for me, it just jumped off the page. And as I was standing here reading this for the first time after 2 years of giving these presentations, I kind of started to get emotional. My daughters were running, "Daddy, why are you crying?" But this is a pretty exciting thing. Part of this, for me anyway, I'm not sure this is an official part of what they were trying to portray, but if you read the Beatitudes, after the Beatitudes, it talks about you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. And so part of the point I understand here is if we live the Beatitudes, we will shine like this gold leaf on the vellum shines. This next piece was one of the most... Sorry, I don't mean to rush you guys.
The Gospel of Matthew.
Yep.
Wow.
This was the first illumination done in the St. John's Bible. It was the very first 2 pages completed by Donald Jackson. And the Gospel of Matthew begins with the genealogy of Jesus. So what do you see here? What's that frame look like? A menorah.
A menorah.
Yeah. In fact, it's the tree of life, but it's also a menorah. And if you notice at the bottom, you've got Abraham in gold leaf, and then to the left you've got Sarah and Hagar, who was Sarah's maidservant, who she gave to Abraham when she didn't think she could have children, and they had Ishmael together. But one of the aspects of the menorah is that reminding us that Jesus wasn't a Christian; he was a Jew, and that his lineage is Jewish lineage. The other kind of cool aspect of the Gospel of Matthew genealogy is that it only contains half the people necessary to have a genealogy. Who would those half be? No, the males. The female are missing, and so in the art, the text only portrays the males. In the art, they've got the females portrayed as well. So So again, you have Sarah and Hagar, and part of that interfaith piece, not only are the names also written, they're written first in English in gold leaf, then in Hebrew, but in Hagar's case, Hagar and Ishmael are considered the founders of the Islamic people or the Arab people. So you have her name written in Arabic. As you go up the page, you have, again, it's just a nice decoration, but it's a Buddhist mandala representing that idea that this is inclusive of all peoples. And you go up to the very top of the page, you have the gold leafing and Jesus at the top with Joseph and Mary along the center. Now there's one of these scientific time markers within this as well that tells us this could not have been made before about 1950. If you're a biology or scientist type person, see if you can pick it out. It's in the areas between the bars of the menorah.
DNA strand?
Yes. Representing
Hey.
that.
Got one. I haven't been here before.
It is. It's the double helix of human DNA, representing that Christ is not just divine, but human. And if he was human, he shared human DNA. And so that goes up the entire menorah.
Can I ask you a question? Didn't you say Sarah was the original mother of Ishmael?
No, Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham. Hagar was
Her servant.
her servant. She gave Hagar to Abraham.
Her husband.
Okay. Yeah, it is different time.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
And they had Ishmael together. So, but he was kind of the unknown son, so to speak. He got sent off when Isaac was born.
Why is all this in uppercase?
Because it's the beginning of a book. So anywhere there's volumes, it's being bound in 7 different volumes. So Genesis is the beginning of a volume.
So just
Matthew
the first
is
page of each
yeah,
book is capital?
yeah. So let's go to this one. This is known as Peter's Confession. And this is that passage where Jesus is saying, "Who do you say I am?" And Peter says, "You are the Christ, the Messiah."